Have you ever seen a player almost attack a ref?
Joe's got to be careful. He's getting real heated now.
She just threw him out. This is Mickey Mouse. This isn't real. This is a joke.
Crazy, but obviously frustrations are at an all-time high in Philly, where the Sixers have the 5th oldest roster in the NBA and are on pace to win 29 games. Many at this point want Philly to tank, but they can't. Their 2025 first-round pick is only top 6 protected, which means if they fall out of that top 6, that pick goes to the Thunder. The Sixers currently have the 8th worst record and perhaps the worst contract in the entire NBA. Paul George has a player option for $56.58 million in 2028. He is about to turn 35 years old. This has been an absolute disaster. Paul George was a big move that has been a big miss so far. Today, we're also going to be looking at 2 other huge moves for the Clippers and Nuggets that have had different results. So what's up, Mike here, and Joel Embiid was drafted in 2014. The Sixers have still not made the finals with him, and arguably, their latest move is the worst of all. They didn't draft Jason Tatum, yes. They drafted Mikal Bridges, then traded him on draft night, yes. They let Jimmy Butler go, yes. Paul George's $50 million a year contract until 2028, though, might be the nail in the coffin here. Unless Philly can brainwash the Lakers into taking him, which has been a rumor, Philly is locked into a core where Embiid has a player option for $67.26 million in 2029, while Tyrese Maxey will be paid $46.39 million in 2029. The only player in this big 3 who is not a walking question mark is Tyrese Maxey, who is the lone bright spot. Maxey is a former 21st pick who is averaging 26.4 points and 5.9 assists per game. He averaged almost 30 points per game in the playoffs last season, but we have to ask, how did we even get here where the Sixers needed a 21st pick to emerge as an all-star to even stay relevant? Can Paul George turn it around? Well, his production has fallen off of a cliff. Last season, PG averaged 22.6 points per game with a 61.3% true shooting percentage. This season, those numbers have fallen to 17 points with a 53.5% true shooting percentage. George is the 7th highest paid player in the NBA. He ranks 75th in points per game, 87th in PER, 161st in win shares per 48 minutes, and 172nd in true shooting percentage. Comparing 2025 Paul George's stats to 2024 Tobias Harris, we can even see that at least on the stat sheet, this was not a clear upgrade. Tobias was even more efficient. Now, Tobias Harris himself has been terrible this year, that is true, but the point remains the Sixers bet it all on Paul George, and he's only getting older.
To be honest, I'm bored playing on a 5. Just don't do enough for me.
Which leads us to, can Joel Embiid turn things around and save them? If injuries were turned off in the NBA, Embiid might have already led Philly to a title. At his best, he's been completely dominant and MVP. But injuries are very real, and because of injuries, Embiid has already struggled as his body normally and unfortunately breaks down by the time the playoffs come. For his career, Embiid has averaged around 3 less points per game in the playoffs compared to the regular season, and his shooting drops about 4%. I don't want to bury him. He's out there trying. His knees are just not holding up. And the reality is, Joel is turning 31 this year, and he's aging like a player in the 1980s, not like LeBron James. Joel played in just 39 games last season and has played in just 13 this season, which means he's on pace to play 25 games this year. Philly's entire future is dependent on Embiid not only playing, but playing at the MVP level he has shown. Even with injuries, the Sixers are 7-6 with Embiid this season and 8-21 without him. Now, many want to tank and just reset for next year, especially because Jared McCain should be back and healthy. He averaged over 15 points per game as a rookie before he was injured. But what is the incentive to tank if you're going to lose your draft pick? Even if Philly tries to be bad, they have to be worse than Washington, Utah, Toronto, New Orleans, Charlotte, Brooklyn, and Portland. All teams that have been awful and all teams that are ahead of them in the loss column. Maybe Philly gets lucky in the draft lottery, but as of now, they suddenly look like one of the worst situations in the NBA today. Moving over to the Denver Nuggets. Russell Westbrook has been an absolute maniac since signing with Denver. Not only is he playing at an extremely high level again, but he's been a trash-talking menace. Before we continue, guys, guys, I want to thank DraftKings for sponsoring today's video. All right, football fans, things are getting real. Whether your team has made it to the conference championship or not, there's still plenty of ways to enjoy the games. Get in on the action right now with my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. They are offering all new customers $200 in bonus bets instantly after betting just $5. Don't let this slip away. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Korzemba, and the crown is yours. Stay in on the action and use your $200 in bonus bets for same game parlays for a chance at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same game. And do you love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered there. Bet live on in-progress games as they happen, making the games that much more exciting. And if sports betting is not yet available in your state, do not worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use my promo code Korzemba and bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code Korzemba only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Thank you to DraftKings for sponsoring today's video. And now let's get back into the video. Seen as a controversial signing at the time due to his struggles to fit in with the Lakers and Clippers, you can decide who to blame there. Russ may be the best comeback story of this season. This year, in the 23 games Russ has started, the Nuggets are 18-5, and in the games he's come off the bench, they are just 10-11. His on-the-court impact cannot be denied. He is fitting in perfectly with Nikola Jokic, and he's shown that the most important thing to him is winning, which gives us a massive question here. After years of hearing the hate, will Russ shut up all of the haters and bring home a ring as a major contributor in Denver? It could happen. Jokic is averaging an absurd 30.2 points, 13.4 rebounds, and 10.1 assists a game with jaw-dropping advanced numbers. He is currently on pace to finish second all-time in win shares per 48 minutes and to set the record for box score plus minus and PER in a single season. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been amazing. There's no doubt about that. But personally, I think if Jokic did not already have 3 MVPs under his belt, he would be a no-brainer for MVP. The man is out here setting advanced stat records. And the Russ-Jokic connection has been both incredible to watch and also historic. They've already become the first pair of teammates to record triple-doubles in the same game multiple times in the same season. Meanwhile, Christian Braun has had a gigantic leap this year. In 2024, Braun averaged 7.3 points per game on 46% shooting. This season, he is averaging 14.1 points on 57% shooting. Denver is currently 4th place in the West, and Aaron Gordon has missed over 20 games this year. We know the Nuggets already have that championship confidence in them. All that matters is that they're healthy for the playoffs, and if Nikola Jokic can continue to be the best player in the world, maybe Russell Westbrook ends the year with a championship ring. Finishing off with the Los Angeles Clippers, we know at this point that letting go of Paul George has looked like the right move. The James Harden trade is the controversial decision, which we'll get to, but the biggest question is whether Kawhi Leonard will ever play again at an all-star level. Many have written Kawhi off at this point due to injuries, but it really is not impossible. Kawhi was just second-team All-NBA last season. Then, of course, he got hurt. He only played in 2 playoff games, so the same story played out. But without a star in Kawhi, the Clippers have still placed themselves at 6th in the Western Conference with a 25-19 record, as the rest of the team has stepped up. Norman Powell is averaging 23.7 points a night, almost 10 more points per game than last season. Zubac at the center position has been solid as well, putting up 14.9 points and 12.6 rebounds per game on over 60% shooting, while James Harden has a lot of people in Philadelphia questioning what could have been, because Harden is playing like a borderline all-star. He's averaging 21.2 points, 8.2 assists per game, along with 5.9 rebounds, and maybe Harden with the Sixers never would have worked out, especially because of this.
Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of.
But at this point, it would not be a stretch to say that Kawhi Leonard could be considered the biggest wild card in the NBA this season. If we were to just take any team, remove their superstar player, and say they are still 25-19 and 6th in the Western Conference, we would say once that superstar returns, they are going to have a real shot at the title. When healthy, Kawhi Leonard has proven to be a megastar. In 48 playoff games between 2019 and 2021, Kawhi not only won his second title and his second Finals MVP, he averaged 29.9 points, 8.8 rebounds, and 4.5 assists per game on over 50% shooting in the process. Yes, at this point, that was years ago. Yes, Kawhi is 33 years old and injuries have been adding up, but if we're being honest, Kawhi could just mail it in and sail off into the sunset to the NBA Hall of Fame, and no one would really blame him because the Clippers are on the brink of a ruin due to trades such as the James Harden trade. The Clippers do not own their own pick outright until 2030. Harden will be 38 in 2028, and he also has a player option next season, so he may not even be on the roster at that point in time. In 2029, the Clippers have just a top 3 protection on their pick, again owed to Philly. It is far from a guarantee that they are going to keep it, even if they had the league's worst record. Piling onto this, the Clippers have minus $67 million in projected cap space next season. This is the roster that they're most likely going to be competing with unless they're able to finagle someone in a deal. It is also the 3rd oldest roster in the league. Kawhi is signed up until the 2027 season, which means Kawhi Leonard returning to greatness is their best hope, and not only contending, but again, avoiding catastrophe. So there we have it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications. That way you never miss another video. If you're still here watching, you are awesome, and we all know it. And as always, have an awesome day and peace.